It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of May 17th, 2002. And only two movies to look at today, but one of them is a big movie, and that is the movie that we're going to look at first off here. The infamous, as I like to call it, Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones.
Blast, that's why I hate flying. Anakin, do copy. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi. Rated PG.
I think to kind of set this up, we should play the Simpsons clip.
I say, Phantom Menace sucked more.
I say Attack of the Clones sucked more.
Fellas, you're both right. And when I say both right, I mean Carl is right. Attack of the Clones is worse. Like, this is the bottom of the frickin' barrel for Star Wars. You could say Rise of Skywalker is the worst of the worst, but I'm sorry. You people out there on the internet ruined that movie because you made The Last Jedi one of the most polarizing movies for no reason whatsoever, and you made Disney completely abandon their plan altogether for what they were going to do with that movie. I am convinced that Rise of Skywalker was made to try to appease the internet fanboys who got so pissed off at The Last Jedi. There is no way in hell that was the last movie that they intended for that. That was what the plan was for the last movie. There's no way that that was possible. Yeah, I'm going off on a tangent there, but I'm sorry. I'm still peeved off about that. Everyone says that Star Wars has been worse under Disney. No, Star Wars has been way better off than Disney. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you can't admit that, but I'm sorry. The prequels are still terrible. Case in point, the worst of the prequels. Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones. Yes, you thought Phantom Menace was bad? This one makes Phantom Menace look like the original Star Wars by comparison. Set 10 years after the events of the Phantom Menace, the galaxy is on the brink of civil war, led by a former Jedi named Count Dooku. Thousands of planetary systems threaten to secede from the Galactic Republic after Senator Padme, played once again by Natalie Portman, evades assassination. Jedi apprentice Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, becomes her protector, while his mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, investigates the attempts on Padme's life. Soon, Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan witness the onset of a new threat to the galaxy, the Clone Wars. Now, yeah, this is, like I said, if you thought The Phantom Menace was a bad movie, Attack of the Clones completely says, oh, we can make it much worse for you, because as bad as Phantom Menace is, this one is an abomination. This is still the worst Star Wars movie, and it's not even close. I mean, like, it's so bad that The Simpsons, another Simpsons parody here, they parodied this to perfection just a few years after this movie came out.
Amendments? Regulatory agencies? What the fark butt?
Before the Galactic Senate votes, we shall call roll. Star System Abutan.
Yeah.
Star System Acroilius.
Agam.
Star System Trebulon Prime.
Whoa, Mama, finally some action.
Mr. Chairman, I propose a procedural amendment to Space Bill number 371.
You'll wait your turn.
Very well.
Trebulon Minor.
The decision is final. Tabled, this motion is. Or is it?
That sucked.
I mean, honestly, they did a pretty good job of telling you everything that's wrong with this movie, but look, yeah, Phantom Menace is a bad movie. It's a bad sequel. It's a movie that everyone was overhyped for. We all got excited for it, and then when we finally saw the film, we let it go at first, and then slowly but surely we came to the realization that, yeah, this is not very good, but you know what? There's still a lot more to admire about this movie, and at least something is happening compared to this movie. That's what makes this movie even worse than the Phantom Menace. I mean, this is a boring movie. I mean, it's just, I tried to stick with it. I tried to give it every opportunity that I can. But I'm sorry, there was nothing worth watching in this movie at all. At least in The Phantom Menace, you had cool aspects to it. You had a lot of things about it that looked pretty cool. I mean, the pod race scene. I mean, like they got in the Clerks animated series. It's just like, objection, Your Honor. The pod race was pretty cool. Like, that stuff. And then, like, some of the other things in there. It's just like, there's at least some things in Phantom Menace that I can at least appreciate what they were trying to do. But this, there's nothing here. I mean, the action is so poorly executed. The visuals look so choppy and so fake. The acting is very mediocre and bland. There's nothing about these characters that I give a shit about. Even the ones I like. I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I thought he'd be the best. I said he probably is the best thing about this movie. But the scenes where they're trying to create a love relationship between... A love relationship. I'm so out of it right now. I'm getting more together. But they're trying to build a relationship between Padme and Anakin. And those are really, really cheesy scenes. And even for Star Wars, this is pathetic for how cheesy this is. And it's a long movie. And I'm sorry. I think The Simpsons pretty much said it best. Nobody gives a shit about trade negotiations in a Star Wars movie. Give us the action. Give us something that we actually want in the Star Wars movies. This entire movie was nothing but trade negotiations and a trade negotiation feud. Just like, who cares? Like, give us what we want in the Star Wars movie, for God's sakes. I mean, this is bad. This is really, really bad of a movie. I mean, I cannot believe that this movie insulted the intelligence of the fans. George Lucas basically insulted the intelligence of his audience. Like, and he says these movies are for kids. It's just like, because you know what kids really want to hear about? Trade negotiations. Like, nobody gives a crap about that. No kid wants to see that. Show them the stuff they want to see. Show them the action in space. You know, show them the lightsaber fight. Show them all the characters that we know and love. It's just like, don't show us this garbage. Like, it's asinine, and it still is the worst Star Wars movie. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Rise of Skywalker is not a great movie, but it kicks the crap out of anything this piece of garbage tried to do. Like, this is a bad movie. This is an abysmal mess of a film. It's the worst of the prequels, bar none. Phantom Menace was at least trying, and didn't succeed for the most part, but it wasn't that big. It was a big disappointment, but it certainly pales in comparison to the abomination that Attack of the Clones is. And, luckily, Revenge of the Sith will kind of change that around for the most part, but we'll get to that one in about 3 years' time when we get to Revenge of the Sith. But this, I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Attack of the Clones is still the worst Star Wars movie. It may be the worst thing Star Wars has ever been associated with. And I've seen the holiday special. The holiday special was at least silly, over-the-top fun. It's a so bad it's good type of thing. But this, no, I can't defend this in any way, shape, or form. So, sorry, if you think Attack of the Clones is great, more power to you. But I'm sorry, this thing sucks. This thing really, really sucks. So, yeah, so that's Attack of the Clones. Let's try to end this on a positive note, no. How about a really good movie that came out this weekend, and no better movie get the horrible, horrible taste of Attack of the Clones out of your mouth than Hugh Grant in About a Boy.
You self-centered, superficial loser.
It's about relationships.
If you're going to be with someone, shouldn't you tell them the truth?
No, it's about friendship.
I was only trying to feed it.
You're the one who was throwing bloody great loaves at the ducks.
Yeah, he was. It's about commitment.
We'll end up childless and alone.
Well, fingers crossed, yeah. It's the movie Us Magazine proclaims the best comedy of the year. Bloody hell. It's About a Boy. Rated PG-13 at theaters May 17th.
So in About a Boy, Nicholas Hoult, in one of his early film role, stars as 12-year-old Marcus Brewer, who lives with his chronically depressed single mother, Fiona Brewer, who's played by, I believe, Toni Collette. I thought it was Rachel Weisz for a second, but she comes in later on. But Marcus will decide whatever he can to make his depressed mother happy, even if it causes him grief. As such, he realizes that he's perceived as different than most kids, and even the self-professed weird kids don't want to hang out with him, as he's the target of bullying. Part of the taunts against him are the fact that he sings and speaks to himself without even realizing that he's doing it. Meanwhile, a 38-year-old man played by Hugh Grant is a slacker who has lived comfortably off the royalties of a song written by his deceased father, and as such will never have to work again in his life. He is a solitary man who places himself as the first and only priority in life. He comes across the idea that dating single moms meets his selfishly carnal needs. It is in this capacity that Will meets Marcus, as one of Will's single mother conquests, Susie, is friends with the Brewers. Trying to escape his life, but wanting Will to date Fiona, Marcus infiltrates Will's life, much to Will's chagrin. Will slowly begins to realize that Marcus is more than just a nuisance, but rather somebody who needs guidance navigating through the trials of adolescence and the trials of dealing with a suicidal mother. And perhaps he can play a small part of providing that direction. Conversely, Marcus might be able to show Will the path to becoming a real adult. Based off of a book by Nick Hornby, this is also written by... last time I thought last time this was written by Richard Curtis, but now this was written by Peter Hedges, who went on to do Dan in Real Life, and this is both written and directed by Paul and Chris Weitz, who did American Pie and also Down to Earth, and it's a nice change of pace for them. This is a really solid film. Rachel Weisz is also in here playing a sort of the love interest that Hugh Grant wants to be with, but I do really like Hugh Grant in this movie. I think he's given a very solid performance. I like Nicholas Hoult. This shows a lot of his true potential as an actor that he would have going down the road. Toni Collette's very good in the movie. It's a nice serving little film that benefits from the late performance by Hugh Grant. And it is a really good movie that doesn't just go for the typical, rom-com romantic ending. It has one of those endings that really hits you in the mouth real quickly, and I like movies that don't go the typical route that they usually should. I like that this movie has the balls to actually go that direction, and I give him a lot of credit for that. I think this is a very good film that really shows, hey, Hugh Grant's still got the chops, and this movie can still really do a lot to really surprise you and go in a direction that you didn't think it was going to take, and it's a very well-made film. It actually made for a really great, underrated TV show that came out not too long ago. It came out around the time Parenthood was coming to an end. And it was a great show. It lasted a couple seasons, but then it kind of went away. It's a shame, because it was actually a really good show. It had Minnie Driver in it, too. And it's a really good show. If you haven't seen About a Boy, the series, I do recommend checking that one out. But this is a really well-made film. It's got a nice heart to it. It's not afraid to show you the ugly truth, but it's not afraid to show that, hey, these comedies can actually have more to it. Like, I like the balance of comedy and drama. I like the casting of Hugh Grant and Nicholas Hoult and the entire cast in general here. It's a very well-made film, and it shows that these directors who started off with American Pie have a lot of range as filmmakers, and that would later show down the road with some of the other films they've made. I really like this movie a lot. I think it's a well-made film. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. About a Boy. I mean, not much more I can say about it. It's a great film. Seek it out if you can. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. When we meet next time, we'll take a look at 3 more movies, including Christopher Nolan's film Insomnia with Al Pacino, Robin Williams, and Hilary Swank, DreamWorks' animated feature Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, and also Jennifer Lopez in the thriller Enough. We'll take a look at those 3 films on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.